this video, I'm going to talk to you about Bandit Signs. I use them a lot to market my first window cleaning business, and I got a lot of good leads from it. I'm also going to explain the ins and outs, give you a few tips so that if you want to try doing Bandit Signs, you can have the best bang for your buck. Now, I'm also going to explain why I don't currently use Bandit Signs, and I'm just going to save that for last. So what are Bandit Signs exactly? They are those usually about 12 inches by 18 inches or maybe a little bit larger signs that you see on the side of the road or in people's yards, often advertising different businesses, different services, or politicians who you're supposed to vote for or who you shouldn't vote for. But they work very well to get people's eyes on your service and the number that they need to call in order to get that service. They're called Bandit Signs because they've been banned in so many different places. Different counties, different townships, different cities will actually outlaw them, hence the bandit word. So you got to check and make sure in your area. A lot of people just roll with the idea, better to ask for forgiveness later than to ask for permission now. So to each his own, it's worth considering. That is the primary reason why I would recommend that, number one, you don't put your company name on it or your logo. And number two, you don't want to use your personal phone number or your primary business phone number. Use another auxiliary number that you can route to your primary number that you want to receive the calls from. It's also a helpful way so that you can actually track your calls and see how many calls you received through that direct line, so you would know if it's working or not. As far as the design goes, other than not putting all your company information, I mean, you can do a branded sign, but you don't want to use it in the same way. You'd only want to use that in the lawns or in the landscaping of customers' homes who you've already cleaned or serviced. But for the tactics that I'm going to explain to you, you want to make sure it has as little attachment to your actual brand as possible, because people don't like them. People think they're ugly. People don't like door knocking. People don't like anything that makes them think about cleaning or a service that they should have or something that's going to cost them money. So have that in mind and try to keep a layer of separation between your brand and the sign. Having said that, bold and basic is the best. I prefer to just put the name of the service that I'm trying to get traction on, window cleaning for instance, along with the phone number. It's also fantastic for Christmas lights. So I would put Christmas light installation and a phone number. Now, if you want to get a little more intricate, you could put in a smaller number somewhere that fits in the middle, prices starting at, and say the number. You always hear in social media groups for different businesses about the quote unquote, the $99 guy. Now, it's actually a helpful technique for this, because if you give them an idea of where the price might be, or at least where it starts, it helps them to have a range in their head of what they could expect. So if you say pressure washing starting at $99, it also helps if you're clarifying about what that goes for. So window cleaning, you could say starting at $99 for 10 exterior windows, or pressure washing, $99 for 100 square feet, and you get the idea. So that's usually what you want to put on there, the floor minimum price tag for whatever service you're putting out there. Now, as far as ordering them, you can look for somebody locally, or I always go to uzmarketing.com, and they usually have had the best rates if you're going to buy 100 signs at a time. I don't know why. I've looked other places. You can buy wherever looks best for you. When you place your order, make sure you don't just do like 10 signs or 20 signs. You need to order like 100 signs at a time. And the reason is, if you don't put 20 or 30 signs out at once, you're not likely to get any or many phone calls. To give it a fair shot, you want to do 100 signs in 1 to 2 weeks. Just make sure wherever you order it that you use very bold letters and numbers for the text so that it's very easy to read. People don't have much time to take it in. That's why you don't even want to distract them with extra words like your business name. You just want to let them know this is the service and this is the number. So if it's a very easy to remember number, maybe they would be able to memorize it if they have a photographic memory, but that's not typically what happens. Usually what happens is after they see that sign a couple of times, the next time they say, oh, window cleaner, I need to get my windows cleaned. They'll drive by that sign again, pull up their phone and snap a quick photo and then call you when they get home. You want to keep that in mind. You want to have it something that's very easy to see from the road so they know exactly what it is. And that if they take a picture of it and if the resolution's not great and they're driving by, they're going to be able to capture the phone number and call you. As far as placement of the sign goes, you want to be in a high traffic area where a lot of people are going to get their eyes on it. The caveat with that is if a lot of people see it, more people are likely to want to take it down. So we would go on a Friday night or really early in the morning, right before the sun comes up on a Saturday morning, and go near shopping centers, or if you're wanting to target a particular neighborhood, then the nicest grocery store near that neighborhood, we would put signs in the intersection or somewhere around there where people can see it. So if they're sitting at a stoplight or a stop sign, they're going to remember where it is and they're going to be able to find it. You just want to make sure they're going to see it so that they can, if they don't see it, they're not going to call you. One of the hacks we had was we would drive around with two people in a truck and we'd have like a 6-foot or 8-foot ladder in the back of the truck. One would pull up while the other would jump out with the ladder and a sign or two, climb up a light post or something that's already there that you could attach your sign to. And we would put 2 holes through the middle of the sign and thread a zip tie through there and wrap the zip tie around whatever pole or whatever light fixture we were going to strap it to. And that would allow us with the ladder to get high enough so that a regular person walking by isn't going to be able to reach it, but it's still visible to the cars who are driving through. In residential neighborhoods, you can use stakes. You can order with them wire stakes that fit perfectly into the sign and go into the grass. If you're going to do that, you want to set it in front of a stop sign or in front of a place where people are likely to slow down so they can quickly snap a photo of it. Just remember, the easier it is to access the sign, the more likely a Karen or a landscaper or some random competitor is going to just scoop up your sign and take it with them. So if it's a little bit harder for you to put the sign out there, it's probably going to last a little bit longer. Timing is helpful. If you're able to get them out for the weekend, it's less likely to be taken down by a contractor or a landscaper, because they're not going to be there typically until the next Monday. And also on the weekend, more people are driving around, and so they're more likely to see it. Now, you can also get traction we would put them in front of neighborhoods where we were working, because if you have a couple of people working, it's very easy just to drop them off on one corner and have them stake out a couple signs, and then you swing back around and pick them up, go to the next intersection. And if you put a few signs in the same neighborhood, it's more likely that somebody's going to see it, stop, and take note of the number and give you a call. Even your best efforts aren't going to last very long. I've had one sign that was up for a couple of years, but I never got any calls. So it was so well hidden that nobody could see it and nobody wanted to take it down. If you're going to have it in a good location, it can be taken down on the same day, if not the next morning. You got to know and go back and check, and if it's down, then you can put another one up. And if you can keep refreshing that sign in a high traffic area, you're going to have a much higher likelihood of getting calls from it. So it's a little bit, cat and mouse. I do have a friend who, when he was putting his signs up, he kept getting irritated that somebody would pull it down. So he took a bottle and he added a skunk oil to it and sprayed his sign so that whoever took it down would think twice about it the next time. And he seemed to believe that it was effective. Now, that's pretty much all there is to know, all that you need to worry about as far as signs, finding good locations and putting them out there, where to get them. Now, the reason I don't do bandit signs anymore is, number one, in all of the towns or all the cities that are around me, they are illegal. and you can face a heavy fine. And I want to try to be on good terms with my local city and with everybody in the area. In addition to that, a lot of the HOAs around here are very strict on it, and people go on to social media, their local neighborhood Facebook groups, or onto Nextdoor, and they'll rant about different companies who have littered their yard with signs, or I mean, even with flyers. Like, it seems like they're anti-business in general, but I like some of those customers because, as nitpicky as they are, usually the squeaky wheel gets the most attention. And if you can make those loud people happy, they tell everybody about how great your service is. So I found that it's better for my brand if I don't do the signs. But if you're starting out and you just need customers, it's still worth doing it. You'll get leads, and the negativity isn't going to kill your business. I've just found that when I do put them up in my area, I've never seen a sign that lasts a whole day, let alone a whole weekend. They're usually taken down within a short time. There's going to be a landscaper who pulls it down in a very brief moment after I install the sign. So I kind of just got a little bit tired of having to try to go back and chase the signs and put them back up the next morning. And after not getting many calls in my particular area, I just kind of gave up on it. I have other ways that I'm able to get customers now, and word of mouth is picked up, so I don't rely as heavily on any one given tactic. So it's a fantastic option still. I just don't do it now. That's it. If you have any other questions, or you want to talk shop, or you have any stories of your own, like putting skunk oil on signs, let me hear about it. Comment below and let me know what your experience is, if it's worked really well for you or if it's been a complete flop. I know when I was in New York, I didn't get one call and it didn't work out. So let me know your stories.